Priya from Hobby Ideas. I'm here to share some DIY craft ideas for this Christmas season. I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas greeting card that you can send to your loved ones. So again, what I'm going to use is Artistry Inks with different effects on paper. We also have a stencil that we are going to use along with these Artistry Inks, and these stencils come in different patterns. So you can choose the pattern that you would want to use, and this floral one is what I'm going to use today. The colors that I'm going to use are the Christmas colors again. So Artistry Ink, which is Blaze Red, and a shade of red, and green, which is Green Garland. Let's take paper, which is again 200 GSM thick. I've taken A3 size paper that I have folded into half to make a nice big card. So this card is about 11 inches to 13 inches in size approximately. And what I'm going to do is crease it properly. We are going to use lots of water to give a stamped effect. The color will merge nicely when we use nice layer of water. With the stamp, I'm going to press this on the edge. And leave it to merge to get a nice merging effect. This effect also looks like a tie and dye effect. So this is very naturally merging abstract effect that you get with the stamps when you dab it directly on the surface, which is very wet. So you can actually see a layer of water when you are stamping it. So this is the effect that you get, a merging effect, abstract color effect that you get on the paper. So I have this effect created on the border of the card, and inside I am going to use stencil with a blending tool which has got a velcro fitted here and a blending foam. So you can stick this foam on the blending tool and can use it for blending. Now when you change the color, you can change the pad so no two colors can mix together, and that's why these changing facility is there for this tool. So what we are going to do is, we are going to use this stencil, floral stencil. I'd start with the flowers, blending the flowers from one corner. The stencil is not enough for the surface, so I'm going to later take this stencil up and then place it here to blend this surface or to create a floral pattern on this surface. And then later I'm going to do the same by picking it up and taking this here and do a floral pattern here. So I will start doing the blending here. For doing the blending, now initially when we used the stamps on the water here for the border, we used it directly from the stamps. Now I will stamp the ink on the OHP surface. These Artistry Ink boxes are also designed in such a way that when you store them, the ink pad is facing downwards and all the ink will remain on the surface. So when you use it next time, the pad is again full with the ink. Also we have a place here where we can store these foams. So each color foam can be stored in this slot that we have here. So these are really nice packaging that we have for our Artistry Inks. So let's do the blending. I'm going to take this red blending foam, stick it here, press it nicely. While blending, you mix the ink here in circular motion and then you take it on the foam. So little ink will also help you create these flowers as you go moving your blending tool in circular motion. If I want it little darker in the center, I can move it in circular pattern some 2-3 times here on the sheet and then move it on the flower. So just to show you the effect, you can see that how the flower is blended. So the inner portion is a darker red in color while the outer is lighter red in color. And I'm going to do all the flowers now. So you can start giving a even coat of red to all the flowers and then come back to each flower and make the center dark. If you don't run your blending tool in circular motion, you might just get the patchy effect and the blending does not happen in a soft, smooth way as it's happening otherwise. So always move it in circular pattern and also let the ink go on the blending tool nicely. And here is the one that I have ready where I have done all the flowers, and this is how beautiful it looks. When I finish with one ink, remember to clean your craft sheet or the OHP sheet on which you have dabbed the ink, so the ink does not come on the card or the paper that you are using for making a card. So this is what we have now. So now we are going to create mistletoes in different sizes, and this is the biggest sized cherry that I have here, and this is a smaller one. So this must be measuring about 2 inches in diameter, and this is about 1 inch in diameter, and all these fall in between. We also have the leaves for the mistletoe, and these leaves are measuring about 2.5 inches to 3 inches, the bigger one, and the smaller one is about 1.25 inch long. We are going to need a lot of them, and I'm going to trace this on the paper and cut them. For the cherries, the paper that I'm using is a thin paper because I want to curl the paper once I color the cherries and the leaves. I've taken a little thin paper which is a handmade paper, and the handmade paper will help me blending the colors softly on the paper. So let's trace this. Take a lighter colored carbon for the reason because you don't leave dark colored stains when you are tracing it. So we have them traced, and I'm going to cut them now. And here we have the leaf for the mistletoe. So we will cut the remaining ones as well, and I have these cut ones ready. We are going to color the cherry in red and the leaf in green. I'm again going to use the blending technique for this. So let's stamp little ink on the OHP sheet. Gently move the blending tool and move it further gently on the cherries. And you can see how beautiful the blending is. So this blending tool and blending foam will help you get this subtle blending, soft blending of color. You can go on building it up in layers to make it dark. Since the paper is thin, hold it tightly so it doesn't crease. So this is the second layer of blending that will give you a darker tone of color. I have a few ready here in all the sizes. I also have blended the leaves using green color. The green that I have used is green garland, and this is how the leaves will look. Now I take this card and I stick a paper which is white in color and has got a little texture on it. So what I'm going to do, I have already cut it in the size of the card, and the thickness of the paper is about 3 inches. So cut a strip of 3 inches and this paper is slightly textured. This is also a thick paper of about 200 GSM and I'm going to stick it on the lower side of the card. So I'm going to stick it here where I see a row of flowers here and then on top. So let's stick this using Fevicol MR. Fevicol all over the strip. And let's stick it. Put the lower edge on the card first. Straighten it. And then stick the remaining paper. See to it that you are sticking it in the straight line. And we're going to have mistletoes stuck here around with a message that can be written here. So let's arrange the mistletoe and we'll stick this with either Fevicol or you can also use a two-way foam tape that may give you a little raised effect. So we've used two-way foam somewhere and we've used Fevicol somewhere and this is how beautiful it looks. So you can write a message for your loved ones and give the card to spread the happiness for this Christmas season. For more craft ideas, visit us at www.hobbyideas.in.